Hello, friends. So, recently a buzz has been created that 20 trillion rupee stimulus, which is near about 10% of the India's GDP, is being put into the economy. And details of it are definitely being flowed in every day by the finance minister, Nirmala Sitharaman. So, if we put things into context, then a lot of economists has started talking about the macroeconomic management in the India's context. We have seen the downfall in the rating of India in terms of our sovereign credit rating, and we have seen how the projection of our growth rate is being done as near about 1% or even negative growth rate of the GDP. So such questions are definitely arising from a lot of credit rating agencies and firms. And in that context, we have, on a much needed level, we have induced 20 trillion rupees. Now, it needs to be thought through in perspective that all of it is not fiscal. Part of it is from the liquidity infusement into the economy, and this is largely done by the RBI, the kind of quantitative easing it has done, easier credits and all, and a lot of credit opportunities being provided, and rightly so, because when we have such propositions, such easy credits for the MSMEs and the business houses and the consumers as well, including the farming households. In that context, everyone is more active economically, and that is the purpose. That is the basis, one of the basis to churn the economy, to incentivize people to engage economically and simply not subsidize their consumption. Subsidizing their consumption, limiting to that, which people say direct benefit transfer to all of your money to the poor households, which will convert into a demand and everything will trickle down from there. That is definitely that will work. That will create a demand. However, that is not the best way to proceed. It's better to incentivize all of the laborers, the business houses, the farming households, and all of them to work more, and with easier tax norms and easier credit facilities to work more, get registered, and avail the benefits as well. So it's not so there's a balance which definitely can be debated whether it's the right balance or not. But there's a balance which is required, and it cannot be one way that just focus on the demand, exhaust all the money of the comfort, whatever we have, uh, into the bank accounts of all the beneficiaries and all the people of India. That that will not be a good economic decision, because that will definitely create an unparalleled demand. Everyone will have a lot of liquidity and money and everything, but who will be the suppliers? We'll have a lot of consumers, then it's all will demand from outside, and import will be pressured. So that is not the right way to proceed. Yes, direct benefits transfer to the farmers, to the migrant laborers, and the poor households is very important, and that up to a certain level. And definitely, the government has added the food grains, 5 kg food grain, 1 kg chana, and per person. Uh, so per month. So that is that needs to add to this. When we talk about transferring 500 or transferring 6,000 in the year, or more and more in the process. So these are all together for their consumption, and the rest is for their economic activities to revive, because they need to keep on producing for the rest of the India to be fed. And the price of the production, the supply does not increase exorbitantly. So in economics, I think all the legs are to be strengthened. the consumption as well as the supply, and we cannot be focused completely on one thing, that is demand, and not focus on how the supply will continue without the business houses, the MSMEs, without getting the right incentive to work, without having the laborers, without having the easy credit, the business houses without having tax breaks and all. So, and the times are difficult, so everyone needs a push. And I think this 20 trillion is pretty comprehensive. Details are definitely not out there yet, but we have three tranches given by the FM, and a lot is shown there, and some is definitely parallel to the budget which was done in February this year itself. So the budget never took off, but this is kind of a budget, what we can call. The amount is like a budgetary amount. So overall, it's not about political credits or any of those, but just from a perspective of a citizen of India or an economist of India or a well-wisher of India, I believe that whatever the government is doing, it's pretty comprehensive and it's not unidirectional or something uh, a common sense definitely would understand, which is not biased, will definitely understand what the government is trying to do and how best it can play in whatever way. The Modi's agenda of 20 trillion in 2020, the visions are to be respected. The vision of $5 trillion being one, many other visions of recreating India as the country of the 21st century. So these thoughts are very important, and the kind of push it required, so that belief needs to be there, including to this the ease of labor law, the agri reforms and for the marketing. So these are pretty revolutionary, if can be said so. These are revolutionary for the farmers. They can reach consumers easily without being limited to selling it to APMCs. That's a major breakthrough and major incentivization for the farmers of this country. Similar is the labor law. The easier labor law will create a lot of employment in the three states, what UP, Gujarat, and MP have done. Definitely a lot of questions and legal things will arise, but it is one expectation is that whatever bureaucracy was involved with reference to the labor laws, which is still prevalent in most of the other states, and West Bengal is a living example of that, where the unions are only getting benefited and no one else. The real laborers are left behind. So when these three states, which were mainly, in fact, UP and MP especially, these were labor exporting states, and now with easier labor laws, these will have the capacity to absorb their own laborers, and the crisis of migrants will resolve to a great extent with this. So these are revolutionary if we see it from the right perspective, and that does not mean that we are violating the labor rights. That is to be protected. Let the market forces protect their rights, and definitely some rights, human rights, and everything definitely will be protected by the government as well and the courts. But it is important that bureaucracy does not come into play. So all of these are very important when seen in context, and I believe that India has decided to get up and move ahead in these, even in these difficult times. The only thing to be seen if whether we can manage the COVID crisis well in the coming days, because lockdown 4.0, we don't know what it will be, but starting Monday we'll have lockdown 4.0, and how that will turn around, that is to be seen. So hopefully we save ourselves from both the crisis, the COVID crisis, the health one, and the economic one as well. Thank you.